Hello everyone, my name is Zach and welcome to On Cash Flow, where I help you become a master of your own cash flow. Now let's get started. Barista FI. It's living a lifestyle where part of your income comes from working, or part of your income comes from generating income, and part of your income is going to come from your investments. It's a little hybrid financial independence lifestyle that I think is great for most people. And the first type of Barista FI that I think would be a really good fit for you is going to be the asynchronous remote work type of Barista FI. So what this means is that you are working remotely. Okay, so it sounds pretty obvious, but the asynchronous part is the key here. That is the key word. And what that means is basically that you're working without a fixed work schedule. So you don't have to be working, even if you're at home, from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. You don't have any kind of set hours. It's more like you get the work done and then you have the rest of the day for yourself. Or you have the day for yourself and then you get the work done. Whatever kind of schedule works best for you. This can technically be a full-time job that you can get done in less than full-time hours. The point here is that you're not fixed to a schedule where you have to show up for, Zoom meetings every single day at certain times. This is the kind of work where you're working on, certain kinds of projects that you can get done. You can get the work done as you need to. And as long as you're following and hitting those deadlines, that is how your work is performed. So this is the whole point of being able to work remotely, being able to work pretty much wherever you want, being pretty much able to set the kind of hours that you want to work, whatever going to work best for you. So I think this is actually a really great type of Barista FI lifestyle that you could pursue. And this is becoming more and more common as so many of our jobs that we do today can be done from home and they don't really need to have all these useless meetings. And by the way, a similar video that I made to this one is I actually made a pretty cool list of employers that are great for living a Barista FI lifestyle. I'm going to talk more about that at the end. But the next type of Barista FI lifestyle that you could possibly pursue is the rental real estate investor. So you as a rental real estate investor, you can have a pretty passive business investing in real estate, but there still is going to be some management and still some oversight that you're going to have to do yourself. And that could be your Barista FI income. Okay, that could be the income that you're generating for yourself. And this can be done in many, many different ways because there's all kinds of different real estate niches that you could get into. You could get into single family home rentals, small multifamily rentals. You can get into larger apartment complexes. You can get into commercial property, vacation properties, all kinds of different properties that you could be renting out. And like I said, this is not going to be completely passive, like if you're just investing in index funds, but that is okay. You could possibly get a higher ROI for having a semi-passive business where you can have mostly everything ran, without your day-to-day active involvement, but where you're just managing everything, like you're overseeing everything yourself. And that could be your, Barista FI job. That could be your Barista FI lifestyle. And I think it's a really great lifestyle that can work with a lot of people that are interested in financial independence. But perhaps the best kind of Barista FI lifestyle is the kind of lifestyle where you like this video. If you're enjoying this video so far, please make sure you like it. Give it a thumbs up. It would really help me out and I would really appreciate that. But seriously, let's move on to the next kind of lifestyle. And the next kind of Barista FI lifestyle that you could pursue is the lifestyle of a small business owner. Don't get this confused with what you traditionally think of as small business owners. What's that default assumption when you think of a small business owner? You think of someone who is running the entire business all by themselves. They're wearing all the hats. They're doing the sales, they're doing the accounting, they're doing the freaking everything, right? So you imagine the small business owner working, 60, 70, 80 hours a week, but that doesn't have to be you. You can own, semi-passive businesses. You can own very, very passive businesses. You can own businesses such as car washes, where you have to employ a few employees maybe just to oversee the operations. You can own, a vending machine business. You can own a laundromat business. You can own any kind of small business that has a few employees that's going to generate income for yourself, where you only really just oversee things, on a broad scale. But the day-to-day operations are going to be managed by your employees. I think this is a great way to generate potentially a good amount of income with a very semi-passive involvement, semi-passive strategy of you not having to run those day-to-day operations. And the great thing about it is that yes, you can start your own business, but you could also possibly just buy someone else's business. You can buy a distressed business. You can buy a business that is doing actually very well, but the person that owns it wants to, take the cash and retire. So there are plenty of options when it comes to being a small business owner that I think can work pretty well if you want that Barista FI lifestyle. Next up is the most traditional version of Barista FI, and that is simply just working part-time. Okay, that is what Barista FI was originally, the concept was originally thought of. It's just working part-time rather than full-time. And then some of your income comes from investments. The other part comes from part-time work. And also potentially a lot of benefits come from a part-time job. Typically when we define part-time, at least in the United States, it usually means working less than 30 hours per week. So if you're working less than 30 hours, that's what's considered part-time. But I would say closer to 20 hours per week, pretty much half of what the normal job schedule would be. You know, normal job schedule of 40 hours per week, half of that, about 20 hours per week, I think would be a good amount of hours for part-time work if you're looking for a Barista FI lifestyle. But of course, if you're going to be working those 20 hours a week, you want that full, 40-hour per week benefits. And that's where finding really good employers that are great for part-time work and for big-time benefits comes into play here. And the even funnier part is that Barista FI, the concept of it, actually kind of derived from Starbucks, because Starbucks offers some pretty generous benefits for employees that only have to work 20 hours per week for the company. And they have a lot of benefits that are very, very lucrative, even though you're only working half-time with the company. And there are plenty of other companies that do this as well, which I want to show you in another video that I created. But before we get onto that, I want to know from you in the comments below, does Barista FI appeal to you at all? Are you interested in pursuing a Barista FI lifestyle? Why or why not? Please leave me a comment below. I'd love to discuss it with you. But I do have another type of lifestyle for you, and that is seasonal work. Not too many people think about this one when they think about Barista FI. So the whole seasonal work kind of lifestyle basically revolves around you only working one season out of the year usually. Maybe you're working full-time, maybe you're working beyond full-time. You could be working a lot of hours during that season and you're pretty much getting all of your money ready for the entire year. Okay, so you're just doing it all in one season. And typically we break down our seasons by the spring, the summer, the fall, and the winter season. What comes along with that is usually there are certain kinds of jobs that are, commonly thought of during those different seasons. So for me, the first things I think about when I think of the spring season is I think of tax season, January to April. So I think of tax season in the first month. Now, when you think of summer, I think of like outdoor jobs like lifeguards and, summer camp and things like that. So I think of summer jobs as outdoor jobs like that. And then when it comes to fall, I don't really know. I don't really have any that come to mind when it comes to fall. But possibly maybe jobs that are at schools because they go back to school in fall right after summer. So maybe it could be a school job for that fall semester. And then winter comes around and the jobs that I think of is just retail because it's the holidays and there's lots of shopping going on. So I think of retail jobs in the winter. And of course there are many different jobs that happen throughout all the seasons. But the point is that if you work full time, you go hard during those 3 months of the year and you earn all of your money for the year, you can enjoy the rest of the year. I think this is actually a really good way to live a Barista FI lifestyle. I think it could be very good. And there are even seasonal jobs that are extremely lucrative, especially if you're talking about a lot of manual labor jobs that have to travel to somewhere in order to perform that labor. But regardless, all of these types of lifestyles I think fit very well under the umbrella of Barista FI. But if you want some more specific examples, I did have another video that I created for you, and the other video that I created talks about employers very specifically that you only have to work part-time for, but they have full-time benefits. So you need to watch that video if you haven't already. Okay, it's gonna pop up on the screen right after I get off the screen. Thank you so much for watching this video. I'm Zach from OnCashFlow.com, and I hope to see you next time.